The Miami Heat have won their second consecutive game, both coming over the Detroit Pistons, this time in thrilling fashion. We'll break down how the Miami Heat won this game, as well as how they stayed alive in the Eastern Conference race for the play to get out of the play-in position. All in this episode of Heat Digest, where we create daily Miami Heat content. So if that interests you, subscribe to the channel, as almost 90% of you guys currently watching are not currently subscribed. We appreciate all of your support. Now let's get to it and break down this thrilling win over this not so great Detroit Pistons team for our Miami Heat team. Now, it was a thrilling win, yes, but it came in a roller coaster of a game. From the start of this game to the end of this game, yes, we had consistent play from players like Duncan Robinson, like Bam Adebayo, and Jaime Jaquez Jr., but our defense was not as efficient, if you will, from start to finish. We got off to a hot start. We got off to a 13-4 start that was quickly and totally just erased by a 9-0 run by the Detroit Pistons, led by Cade Cunningham and none other than the previous Orlando Magic Heat killer, Evan Fournier. It feels like that guy has been around for 100 years, and he's been doing the same thing all of his career, just destroying the Miami Heat, regardless if he's in an Orlando Magic uniform or now a Detroit Piston uniform. It's it's infuriating to watch such a common player do it year after year after year. And again, he did it again. He did it again tonight against the Miami Heat, as he gave us problems from the start of this game, keeping the Detroit Pistons in it in the first half and until the third and fourth quarter down the stretch, when he was making big shots, big floaters, keeping the Detroit Pistons in it down the stretch. But again, we did win this roller coaster of a game, and we were led by none other than Duncan Robinson, who shot 10 of 15 from the field. He was phenomenal tonight. Again, tonight we did not have a bunch of players, including Tyler Hero. That's who was Duncan Robinson was starting in the midst for, who again missed another game with a right foot problem. Kevin Love missed another game with a heel issue. We also did not have Jimmy Butler, who was down with a right foot contusion, right foot irritation, if you will. He'll be back hopefully by tomorrow night's game in Philadelphia. And then we also did not have Nikola Jovic, who went down Friday night against this Detroit Pistons team with a right hamstring issue. So without all four of those players, four players that have been starters for this Miami Heat team this year, as tonight was our 32nd different starting lineup this season. In 67 different games, we've had 32 different starting lineups for this Miami Heat team. So once again, we were up and down all game long. We had 5-point to 10-point leads just disappear out of nowhere due to inconsistent offense and bad defense against a really not so great Detroit Piston team. But for the box score, once again, Duncan Robinson had 30 points scored on 10 of 15 shooting, 7 of 12 from behind the three-point line. He made all 3 of his free throws. He had 30 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists at the starting. It says he's listed at a forward. I guess you can say he was at the small forward tonight, as Jaquez did play the shooting guard. But again, plus minus of plus 12 from none other than Duncan Robinson. It seemed like a hell of a performance from him, as not only did he get off to a hot start, hitting his 1,000th made three-point shot in his career during the first quarter, an amazing feat by him, but he did it throughout the game, and late in the third, early in the fourth, late in the fourth, he had a big three in the corner in about midway through in the fourth quarter. It seemed like there was no way he was making it. He was so deep in the corner. He was behind the backboard. He was still able to make it over an outreached hand, over a taller defender, and it was nothing but cash. And then late in the game, he made a deep three-point shot where he was also fouled. It converted a 4-point play for Duncan Robinson. A huge shot for not only him, but the Miami Heat. A great game by him, Duncan Robinson, individually, but a great game for this Miami Heat team, as his performance really propelled us to a Miami Heat win, as well as the rest of the starting 5, including Bam Adebayo, who we'll get to in just a minute. First things first, Haywood Highsmith, a part of the 32nd different starting lineup, as he played tonight, was more of a defender than anything on the offensive end, as he only provided 3 points and 2 rebounds with a single assist. Again, a plus-minus in the positive with a +4 plus-minus. But then we're going to skip Bam Adebayo for just a second, as we're all going to round this out with what he did to close out an immaculate game by the Miami Heat Terry Rozier came out and he set the tone for this Miami Heat team. In the first quarter, he came out, it felt like every time he touched the ball across half court, he was going to do what he wanted to do, and that was put his head down, go hard left or go hard right with an in-between dribble. He was really dancing with the basketball tonight, effectively getting to the basket. He didn't get rewarded with any free throws tonight, which is amazing to think of, especially after watching the first quarter of basketball from not only the Miami Heat, but Terry Rozier specifically. There was a few occasions, in literally just the first quarter alone, where you thought he could shoot free throws. He kept the same style of play throughout the entire night, and he did not result in any free throws attempted, which is crazy to think. Just saying, it's crazy to think he did not shoot a free throw. The Miami Heat did shoot 16 free throws for the game, making 12 of them, which is great. But again, Terry Rozier did not shoot any of them. He did shoot 20 times from the field, which is always great to see, as we are missing 4 key players tonight. It's always good to see someone like Terry Rozier, a key acquisition as of late, come in and really be dominant with the ball. 8 of 20, not the greatest shooting percentage, but a good performance from him in 36 minutes, as he provided 17 points, 9 assists, and 6 rebounds with a plus-minus of +20. Overall, a great game from Terry Rozier. And then finally, rounding out the starting 5 was Jaime Jaquez Jr., who had a bunch of highlight plays once again, including a massive dunk in the in the second half. He had 15 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds with a steal and a block, plus-minus of +6, 6 of 14 from the field, not the greatest shooting percentage, is about 40%. Then 1 of 3 from the three-point line, including 2 of 4 from the free throw line. And then rounding out the starting 5, because we did skip over Bam Adebayo, is Bam Adebayo, the center for tonight's game. And he really did a lot. And we're firstly going to address what he did on the defensive end, as well as the rebounding category for this team. If you look at the rebounding category, it's another game in which the Miami Heat did win the rebounding battle this time, 47-44, and a lot of credit has to go to Bam Adebayo. And it's not just because he had 17 rebounds by himself. 13 on the defensive end and 4 on the offensive end. He added 20 points, 17 rebounds, like I just said, 3 assists and a steal, plus-minus of +5. Only 3 turnovers. Yes, it's never great to have any turnovers, but again, he's had some turnover problems as well as free throw issues. He did shoot 1 of 2 from the line tonight as of late, but again, tonight he got away with it as he made up for it, as he hit a game winner. Game winner 3 from probably 30 feet out. Steph Curry-esque range from none other than Bam Adebayo, the player who doesn't shoot a lot of threes. He made 11 threes in his entire NBA career. Tonight, he made his 3rd of this NBA season, and it came in a huge spot as it was a tie game, 101-101, and it was a back and forth game, like I said earlier, roller coaster of a game. The Miami Heat came down, they missed a shot after Cade Cunningham went one-on-one against Caleb Martin and scored, tying the game at 101. The Miami Heat came down, they missed. The Detroit Pistons, the Miami Heat needed to stop. The Pistons came down with the ball and the possessions, the chance to take the lead and win the game. The Miami Heat were able to get a team effort of a stop, resulted in a rebound going to Terry Rozier, who did the same thing he had been doing all night long. No timeout was taken. The ball was pushed up the floor across half court, and it looked a lot like the Villanova play from a handful of years ago. The shoot and ladder play, we see a lot of it. It just looks a bit different time after time. Tonight, it was roughly the same play. Terry Rozier got it to about the three-point line, pitched it back to a trailing Bam Adebayo, who made the 35-foot three-point shot. He released it with roughly 0.6 of a second left, and it was nothing but cash. Absolutely phenomenal shot, phenomenal play. It wasn't drawn up, but phenomenal play ran by Terry Rozier and Bam Adebayo and the rest of the Miami Heat team, as the spacing actually worked on this play, as it hadn't worked really all night long on a lot of offensive possessions. It resulted in a 104-101 win for the Miami Heat. I will say that Evan Fournier, once again, in a different uniform, it feels so weird not seeing him in an Orlando Magic uniform, once again in a Detroit Piston uniform, killed us once again. He hit shots in the first half. He hit shots in the second half, including a big 3 in the fourth, and then a floater to keep the Detroit Pistons within striking range, and then Cade Cunningham. This dude is a baller. He really, really is. He can really just fill up the entire game with baskets. He plays the point guard position at such a big he seems so much bigger than he is. Yes, I know he's a bigger point guard at like 6'8", 6'10", whatever he's listed at. But he plays the game like a Magic Johnson. I'm not saying he's Magic Johnson in any way. I'm not saying that. I'm not disrespecting Magic Johnson. But Cade Cunningham plays the same brand of basketball where he sees above the rest of the floor at such a big, really dimension, and he's able to play the game so effectively. And then the reason I wanted to highlight Bam Adebayo with the 17 rebounds, not only did he do such a stellar job on the glass for the Miami Heat by himself, but he really negated Jalen Duren's really efforts on the glass. There was multiple times when he was involved in offensive scrams or rebounds for the offensive rebound, Jalen Duren I'm speaking of, where Bam Adebayo really did a good job not only to poke the ball upwards to create another tip-out opportunity for the Miami Heat, but really taking the ball from Duren, which really would have swung the game in the other direction. As, again, it was a close rebounding battle. The Miami Heat won the offensive rebounding battle by 4. They lost the defensive rebounding battle by 1, ending up winning the total rebounding battle by 3, 47-44. But again, if Duren was able to get these rebounds that Bam Adebayo didn't fight for, it would have resulted in more baskets, possibly for the Detroit Pistons, and we could be looking at a total different outcome for this game between the Miami Heat and the Detroit Pistons. So once again, the Miami Heat did win a close game. We are a half game back from the Indiana Pacers, who are sitting in the 6th seed. We are currently sitting in the 7th seed, tied with the Philadelphia 76ers, who we play tomorrow night, March 18th in Philadelphia. It's the 3rd game of a 4-game road stand. We need to win this game. I know tonight was a must-win because we physically, emotionally, and mentally cannot lose to a team with 12 wins in the Detroit Pistons like we lost to the Washington Wizards. It cannot happen, especially with 16 games remaining in this NBA season, as the Miami Heat are trying to get out of the play-in positions from the 7 to 10 seeds. Tomorrow night is a bigger game than tonight was, or even Friday night's game was against these Detroit Pistons, because tomorrow night, Monday night, March 18th, we play in Philadelphia. Again, they don't have Joel Embiid. We are unlikely to have Hero, Love, or even Jovic or Butler. So again, it's going to be a massive game. All of those guys are probably going to be a game time decision, day-to-day, listed as day-to-day, but we are going to need a maximum effort, great defense from start to finish from this Miami Heat team in order to win, because a loss will set us back significantly. And at this time of the year against this Philadelphia 76ers team, there is no excuse for this Miami Heat team to lose. It will be obviously the second night of a back-to-back, so things will be more tough. It will be a more difficult game for this Miami Heat team, but again, no excuse, as it's next man up, and we have to win this game. I will see you guys tomorrow night after tomorrow's hopeful win against the Philadelphia 76ers. But again, thanks for watching this episode of Heat Digest. I'll see you guys on the next one.